Hey, what's going on YouTube channel? It's Taurus down again here. Y'all go hard to go home. So, I'm going to kick back right now and I'm about to watch. Y'all know who this is on the screen. That's old Candace Owens right there. Okay? So she's going to talk a little bit about the connection between Andrew Tate and the Me Too movement. I don't really know what she's going to have to say about that. Okay? I really don't know. But before I get into it, I'm going to give a little bit of my opinion about this Andrew Tate and all this other stuff, okay? And then I'm going to get back in my rest position while I listen to her. I don't think that this dude probably did everything they said he did, but, you know, when you kind of putting yourself out there, anything can happen, okay? So, we're going to get into this one. Y'all hit that subscribe button for me because, like y'all know, I don't do the cash apps. I don't do no Patreons. I don't want your money. We talk about this on YouTube for free. But we're gonna see what Candace has to say about the connection between Andrew Tate and the Me Too movement. That's interesting to me. So let's see what she's got going on. Let me get her playing.
While I was in Africa, obviously so much stuff went down, and among it, Andrew Tate was arrested in Romania. If you guys, I'm sure by now you've heard the story. It's been covered extensively. Andrew Tate is a former kickboxer. He's 36 years old. He was born in America. I think that he spent a lot of time in the UK. If I'm correct, he holds both an American and a UK citizenship, but he is currently residing in Romania, and he was arrested for organized crime, human trafficking, and rape. And the internet has subsequently exploded. There are all of these theories that he has been very clear in his own tweets since the arrest that this is all a part of the Matrix. There are these theories that the government went after him because he is this sort of macho man character and he's inspiring too many men to be alpha males, and so they're just going after him.
Okay, I can tell you right now, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. There's nothing that the United States government, and especially if he's holding like a British or whatever citizenship, nothing would make them happier than a bunch of alpha males with their own doggone businesses and stuff going on, because the government doesn't like taking care of anybody, and they definitely don't like taking care of families. So that's bull jive. I don't give a doggone what nobody's telling you. That's bull jive. There ain't no such thing as inspiring too many people to be an alpha male. No, the governments would love that. That means every man would have his own business, and then they could just rake the money in off of that. And he'd be taking care of everybody else because the employees all have jobs. So nobody needs doggone public assistance because everybody's being an alpha male and taking care of his family. So no women need public assistance. And then on top of that, these alpha males are going to have businesses and be creating jobs for people. So now you got the people in their jobs and they're paying taxes, but they're not needing government assistance nor unemployment. Okay? The government wants more alpha males. They are not trying to take down alpha males. What they're trying to take down is people who might be detrimental to the nuclear family, which takes one of them. He's one of them. Fucking Myron Gaines is one of them. All the red pill jokers and pickup artists are people that are bad for nuclear families. The whole red pill thing is bad for nuclear families. And the government doesn't like that. But let's roll on. Get him, Candace.
Him to take him out. And Andrew Tate, to some extent, believes that this is true. I wanted to give my take on this situation because I think it's relevant and I think it's interesting and it speaks to exactly what we are talking about and why I don't want to say that I hold a low opinion of a lot of women. I don't. But I think that I hold a very realistic opinion of what women are capable of all around the world. It is why it landed me on the opposite side of the Me Too movement, which I believe is women that trade sex for positions in Hollywood, for positions at work, and then when they regret that sex that they traded, they call a man a rapist. And it's also why an account like Tag the Sponsor makes me laugh. because I know that women are not all just these precious butterflies who are always caught up in circumstances and don't know how they landed there. Women can be, just like men, can be conniving. Women can, when they want to get around to it, be more conniving and more plotting than men can be. The Andrew Tate story is interesting to me for a lot of reasons. The first is because of how I met Andrew Tate. Totally weird story. Andrew Tate was at the Ritz in London when me and my husband first fell in love, and he was with a mutual friend of ours who I'm not going to name, doesn't matter. I met him as I was having this dinner with my husband and his friend. Andrew Tate was there. I had no idea who he was. This is kind of before he really took off on the internet, even though I think he was known to some. He was not at all known to me. He was very nice to me. I have nothing bad to say about how he treated me. He was very kind. He wasn't wearing glasses inside as he does now. I think that's kind of his online persona. But he was very kind. I didn't speak to him very much. Obviously, I was in love with my husband, like falling in love. So I spoke to my husband the entire time.
Well, the interview's over. If you want to know what is a woman, please turn off the cameras.
But, and here's a very interesting but, I had my assistant at the time with me who happened to be Romanian. She's born in Romania, speaks Romanian, happened to have been in the United States, because she was playing tennis at university, and then she worked for me for a couple of years, and she wasn't a very good assistant. That's why she's not with me anymore. And she was also a young woman who was obsessed with Instagram. This kind of a girl that would pose seductively on the internet, right? And she spent a lot of the time that we were there talking to him, right? They were having a conversation. I don't know if he was speaking to her in Romanian. I don't even know if he speaks Romanian, but I do know that he spoke to her. And at the end of this dinner, as I am not paying attention because I got butterflies in my stomach and I'm falling in love with my husband, she comes over to me afterwards and she says, this guy, Andrew Tate, I think he's a pimp in Romania. I said, what? And she's like, no, I think he's like actually a pimp in Romania. And I'm sitting here going, I don't even know what they're talking about. He's not even Romanian. He's a UK citizen. Maybe he's American. He doesn't sound Romanian. Doesn't look Romanian. I don't know what you're saying. And she also said a lot of stupid things, so I didn't really give too much air to what she said. It just didn't really make sense to me. I don't know if she meant to say that he had approached her, which, by the way, if he did, she would have been a perfect candidate for this. She was very interested in, and eventually it was why we had to go our separate ways, one of these girls, right? Someone that wants attention, wants somebody that's going to shower them with attention, somebody that wants money. And so I just remember that one comment, it's something that she said, and I didn't look further into it because it wasn't relevant to me and it wasn't relevant to my life. So you fast forward to today, and I see these allegations of him being a rapist, human sex trafficking, whatever in Romania. And my take on this is that I do not believe that Andrew Tate is a rapist. I don't. I think that that is what people like to accuse men of when they're trying to take them down, right? Do I believe that Andrew Tate is exactly what he tells us that he is in his videos when he talks about women and he says that he thinks that women should be subservient to men, and that in his relationships says that he has tons of children, and that he says that in his relationships he expects to be the more dominant one. I'm paraphrasing here, but Andrew Tate is not hiding exactly who Andrew Tate is and always has been, and clearly he communicated exactly what it was and whatever it was that he does in Romania to my assistant, giving her the option. Maybe she wants to join. For all I know, maybe in Romania, which maybe perhaps the reason he moved to Romania, whatever he was doing, being a modern Hugh Hefner, is legal. I'm taking a guess here. I don't know. But if you're a guy and you hold citizenship in America or in the United Kingdom and you decide to uproot to Romania, it's got to be because you can do a little more dodgy stuff in Romania. It's the Eastern Corridor. This is how things work, right? Romania is like Ukraine. It's an incredibly corrupt country. The governments are entirely corrupt. Now, the risk that you run is that what you are doing in Ukraine might be legal if your goal is to be a Hugh Hefner. And I think that what he did, I believe that Andrew Tate was always upfront with all of these women in the same way that when you go to work for the Playboy Mansion, they're pretty upfront with the fact that you're going to be walking around in a bikini wearing bunny ears when Hugh Hefner was alive. I believe he always communicated that, and he was always upfront, right? But when you decide to do that in Romania, the risk that you run is that it's Romania. And any day when the government realizes that you have money in Romania, if you are flashing your wealth on the internet in the capacity that Andrew Tate flashes wealth on the internet, the government will make up charges to seize your wealth. And that is exactly what is happening to Andrew Tate right now. He is having his cars seized. He is having his money seized. I think they've taken over his compound, I read. There's no reason for them to do this if they're trying to discover whether or not he was a part of a human sex trafficking ring, if they're trying to discover whether or not he raped anybody. There would be absolutely no reason for them to seize his cars. It's not.
Well, that's what she's kind of wrong with that. She's kind of wrong with that because, see, here's the deal with that. Okay, now maybe even in that country, like in Germany, prostitution is legal. But anything that's illegal, you're going to be paying some kind of taxes on it to the government. And then maybe this man wasn't doing that. Because in most cases, she's talking about corruption and gangster shit, and that's the truth. But the only time you get took down when you're doing gangster shit is when you ain't paying the people that's in charge. When you're not paying the big man, when you selling on his block, and he own that block, and you down there in that corner trying to sell, and you ain't paying your protection, you finna get your ass took out. That's what's gonna happen. The governments and stuff are no different. They're no different. In America, it's like this right here. In America, selling drugs is not illegal. It is not. No. People always ask me, like, it's not? No. Watch this. As long as you go and get the doggone license from the government and become a pharmacist, you can open a drugstore in front of everybody and sell all the stuff in there, Percocet, all that shit. That you can sell all of it. As long as they're getting their cut. It's not illegal if they're getting their cut. So I think that may what happened to her. That may be what happened to him. And if that's the case, he's not coming out from under that because they weren't getting their cut. And they're going to take everything that he's got and they're going to get it. And he's not going to get out of them charges either. Because if the government is against you, your ass is going down. It doesn't matter where you're at in the whole world. Now notice this guy's got American citizenship, but they're not going after him. They tried to trade for Brittany Griner, all this other good stuff, but they're not going to go after this guy because his red pill mentality is detrimental to nuclear families, which is what they want. But let it go.
Relevant until at least the conclusion, right, of the investigation. It's absolutely not relevant. But it's Romania. The Romanian government is corrupt. The Romanian government has to do what the Romanian government does, right? These are the Zelenskys of the world, people in that region. They steal from people, and that is the truth. What I found interesting is that because the media does hate Andrew Tate, and they had hated him long before any of this became public, they hate him again because he describes himself as an anti-feminist. He tells women that they should be beautiful. He tells men that they should be more dominant. And the internet and the media does not like that. They keep revealing private conversations that Andrew Tate has had with women. I guess that's supposed to be the media's form of evidentiary support to the idea that he's a rapist. And what ran in an article last night...
Well, some of the things that they were saying that he was saying to women was like, shit, like I love raping you. So, I mean, that's enough. That's enough to show that, yeah, some of that. If that wound up being true, then, yeah, they should be showing that. So I got to go with that one.
Was a transcript of a woman basically saying that she didn't want to get a tattoo. Allegedly, all of the girls that Andrew Tate is with, they have a tattoo of his name on their body. And she says, no, I want to keep my body pure. And he's like, well, I'm paraphrasing here. If you're going to be with me, your body belongs to me and you need to get this tattoo. I do not find that to be evidence that he is a rapist, and we need to stop being so sloppy when we say that people are rapists, and we need to accept the fact.
Granted, it's not proof of being a rapist. It is proof of being a bit overbearing. Okay. You're going to get this tattoo of my name. That's just being overbearing. That's all it is. It's not really no rape stuff. But what they're using that to show is that if you're this overbearing, you probably will do this other thing. But let's roll.
That there are a lot of women that have this fetish. There are women that like to be dominated over. I had a person that I was friends with at university who was in my class, and we became friends because I was so shocked at the stories that she would tell me about her 3 different boyfriends that she managed, unbeknownst to all of them. And she was very into kinky stuff. She liked the idea of men being dominant over her. It was all of the BDSM stuff. She was into it. She'd like to have those conversations when he would tell her what he was going to do with her, or when he would tell her to shut up. This was a part of her sexual kink, right? And people do not want to believe that there are women that are into this. There are. And
No. People believe that. I believe that. Okay? But there's one reason why I be doing my channel, and that's why it's always going to be free. Because we're gonna get to talking about stuff like this one day on my channel. But if you're in that kind, if women are in that kind of junk, you probably want to stay away from them. Because okay, all it's gonna take is for you to go in there and put the handcuffs on a little bit too tight. That's all it's gonna take. That's all it's gonna take. I wouldn't do it. You slung the whip a little bit too hard. It's too risky. You got guys talking about risking to get married, but people want to do that. I don't get that. Risky is risky. Let her finish.
I have to believe, because of how public of a figure that Andrew Tate has been, because of how honest he has been about his expectations in relationships and in his views of the women that he is with, or what he would do in a scenario if he was dating a girl that did this or that the women that were messaging Andrew Tate, engaging in conversations with Andrew Tate on the internet, on Instagram, via direct messaging, knew what they were getting into. And I feel that is important to say, because I am so sick of this idea that we should always accept that in every situation a woman is a victim. I'm not empowered by that. I don't find that to be empowering, right? The Me Too movement to me disempowered women, because it said women never know what they're doing. They just are always little flowers, and men take advantage. The truth is that women take advantage too. And the easiest thing for women to sell to get what they want is sex, right? This is what Tad was sponsor proves. I want to be rich, I want to have money, and I don't want to work. So I'm going to sell sex. I have no talent, and I want to be an actress. So I'm going to sell sex. There's even an element of this, by the way, when you start hearing stories about how Harry and Meghan got together. We spoke about this yesterday when he talks about how he showed up at her hotel in London, Soho House, and as soon as he opened the door, she threw herself on him and got naked. Yeah, because Meghan wanted to get with the prince. You know, she was kind of like, this is my last shot in life. I'm 40 years old, almost 40 years old. I'm going to get with this prince and make him love me, and I'm going to have sex.
And the whole deal of this, I agree with her about the Meghan Markle thing, because she's accepted a bunch of racism even the whole time she's been in there. But I think she's there about money. That's what I think. Because, I mean, her mother-in-law died, the queen died, and it's like, no, you can't come. And your half-breed kid can't come either. That's really what they were saying. But let me roll with that.
Premarital sex with him, because that's what I want to do. And clearly it worked, right? Sex is a power that women have. Being beautiful is a power. Being aesthetic, being feminine is a power that women have. And women tend to wield that power heavily throughout society. And so I want to be very clear that I do not agree with Andrew Tate's lifestyle, not whatsoever. Not as a Christian person do I agree with Andrew Tate's lifestyle. But two things can be true at once. You can disagree with Andrew Tate's lifestyle while also acknowledging that the women that involved themselves with him, right, the women that are now angry and turning their backs and saying, well, you know, I felt that I thought I was going to be with him forever. I thought I was going to be the only one. While also acknowledging that they also contributed themselves to this. They did this intentionally. They knew what they were getting into. Perhaps it was for money. Perhaps it was for fame. It likely was for a certain lifestyle that he provided. But that is what you call an exchange. So there's going to be a lot more to the story. I'm sure more things are going to be revealed as we go along. Thus far, I have not been surprised by anything that I have seen. But, you know, we'll keep covering the story, and we will see where it ends.
Okie dokie. Hey, can't really argue with all of that. You know, she doesn't agree with it. She doesn't think that he raped anybody or anything. More than likely, probably what happened is that, you know, like I said, he got into some junk with these people, and then it was like, okay, well, you did this just you did this too much, or you did that too much. While we're talking about the Andrew Tate thing, let me go ahead and say this right here. Look at what happened to R. Kelly. They agreed to go into that situation too. Their parents, even though those girls were supposed to be younger, their parents agreed for them to go in that situation too. It did not change what happened to his ass in the end. See, that's what guys got to be careful at. That's what you got to be careful at. Because they could enter into this agreement with you. It's just like the marriage thing. They can enter into that agreement with you too and get out of it, and your ass is going to pay. I don't think there's no real way of saying that. I don't think it is. So, you know, I got to go with saying that while this dude, you know what I'm saying, may have made this mistake that she's talking about, okay, it's one that he should not have made. It's one that he should not have made. As much as he talks on the internet about what to do and what not to do with women and how women are this and how women are that, he should know better than this. Now, I'm going to tell you this right here. I agree with her thing about the Ukraine and all this stuff and some of them other places. And this dude getting in trouble there wasn't a good thing. Okay? You in America, maybe you could beat the charges. You was in doggone the UK or wherever it is he's from, London or whatever, the other places he got a citizenship, you may could beat the charges. But in them corrupt ass places, hell no. Once the government decides your ass is done, you're done. So if the government is after him for resources, the way that she's saying, wherever if they did trump it up, it's going to get stick. Because they're going to get that money. And you see the United States is not going trying to help this guy. You see that. So, like she said, it's a developing story. And we'll get more out of it as we go. But, here's the deal. This been tossed down and y'all go hard to go home. Y'all let me know what y'all think, because I'm going hard about this. I'm like, look, hey, you put your ass in that situation, you gotta take what you get. You gotta take what you get. This is all there is, that y'all. There ain't no if, ain't no but, no maybe, none of that junk. It is this right here. If you're behind, push yourself in this type of situation, you're gonna get this kind of thing. That's the problem. That's one of the main problems I got with the red pill. It's one of the main problems I've got with the red pill. They don't want to sit there and they don't want to believe that, but it is what it is. Look, y'all, it's been tossed down to y'all. I'm finna sit here because my fire's starting to get built up real good. And I'm gonna enjoy this fire, and I'll probably drop another video. But you gotta look at it, guys. I mean, like, hey, look. You put yourself in that situation, you gotta deal with what you're gonna get out of it. Okay. Tate did this stuff, maybe didn't do what the way that they said he did it, but that's like I say too. All it takes is you put the handcuffs on a little bit too hard. You hit me a little bit too hard with the whip. Heck, a woman can have regular, just not BDSM sex with you, and she can wake up the next day and say you raped her. So if you did this other stuff, you really probably gonna get looked at that way. I'm just putting that there. But y'all drop the comments, let me know. Alright? Hit subscribe. I don't do the cash apps. I don't want no money. I just want subscribers, but y'all let me know what y'all think. I'm out of here on this one. It's been Tarzan, and y'all go hard or go home.